ChatGPT has absolutely exploded in the last couple of months and people are using it to make thousands of pounds online. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can use ChatGPT to maximize your chances of success with Amazon KDP. So very quickly before we jump into tip number 1, a lot of you have been asking about the progress of my 2 Amazon KDP courses, and the good news is they're going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So make sure you are following me on Twitter, so all the information that you need about when they go live, what they're going to involve, is going to be on there. I'll leave a link to my Twitter down below in the description, but essentially there's going to be 2 different courses, both online video courses, one for beginners and also one for slightly more advanced KDP publishers who kind of want to take their KDP to the next level. So like I say, keep an eye on my Twitter, and all the information that you need about those is going to be on there over the next couple of weeks. And now let's get straight into tip number 1 about how to use ChatGPT for your KDP. So the first thing you can use ChatGPT for your KDP books is to make really good and professional looking book descriptions. So one thing I will just say here, in terms of ChatGPT, it's never going to make you a book completely from scratch. I don't believe that's kind of what its role is going to be, especially when it comes to Amazon KDP. But there are definitely loads of different parts of the kind of whole publishing process that you can lean on ChatGPT for. And the first one, as I'm going to mention in this video, is book description. So all I've done is just typed into ChatGPT, can you write me a book description for a pirate-themed word search book for boys? So basically, I've told it a couple of things. It needs to be a book description. The book is going to be pirate themed, it's going to be a word search book, and it's going to be for boys. And what it's come back with is this really good, quite detailed book description. Ahoy matey sets out on a treasure hunt with this pirate themed word search book for boys. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, you can kind of read it for yourself. And the key thing with ChatGPT is you can constantly go back to it and ask for even more detail, or take things out, add things in, and just keep going until you get the book description that you want. So I just said here, can you make it a little bit shorter? Because that's quite long in my opinion for a book description. And what it's done, actually, it hasn't kind of taken that into account too much. I'm pretty sure it's just taken out this ahoy mateys bit at the start. So again, I've had to go back to it again and just say, oh, can you make it even shorter? And what we've been left with now is set sail on a treasure hunt with this pirate themed word search book for boys. Over 50 pages of swashbuckling puzzles, so it tells you how many specific pages are going to be in the word search. Obviously, tailor this to how many pages you actually have in yours. Featuring pirate-related words from treasure to ship to parrot. Again, make sure these words are actually in your book description, your actual book word search. Perfect for young buccaneers looking to have fun and challenging activity. Let's set sail on an adventure of a lifetime. So that's a really cool, professional-looking book description. One thing I will definitely say is I don't know the rules in terms of fair use when it comes to ChatGPT. So I would definitely err on the side of caution. And just make sure you kind of take this description and then paraphrase it yourself a little bit, so you're not just completely copying it and sticking it onto Amazon. I'm sure Amazon will be able to find ways of knowing who's just copy and pasting their stuff. So don't take this kind of as it is. Maybe just paraphrase it a little bit, but just essentially use this to kind of get really good ideas for your book descriptions. And like I say, just make sure you're not just completely copy and pasting it, because I think you might be able to get in trouble if you do that. So that's tip number 1, and I'm going to jump now into tip number 2. So the second way you can use ChatGPT for your Amazon KDP books is actually to find content for some specific books. This works really, really well with kind of puzzle books or sort of activity book content. So in this example here, I've just used the example of a word search, and you can basically get lots of different types of content for each of your books. So for here, I've just said, can you find words for a boy's word search? There will need to be 10 words per puzzle, and all based around a different theme with 10 puzzles in total. And what ChatGPT has done, it's gone back through, given me loads of different puzzles under different themes. So we've got transportation, we've got sports, we've got animals, and we've got different words for each of these. And again, like I said in the previous tip, don't necessarily copy and paste absolutely everything from ChatGPT, but with examples like this, no one kind of has the rights to the word helicopter, subway, bike, whatever. If they're potentially trademark terms, then just be very careful when you're doing that. But for things like this, it should be absolutely fine to do. And what this does is just saves you so much time having to go through and think and do all of this stuff for you. So this is a task that doesn't necessarily take too much kind of brain power or headspace, but actually just can take quite a bit of time. And they're the kind of tasks that you want to be leaning into ChatGPT for. Just saves you so much time and potential money if you were going to outsource something like this. So you can use all of these in your very own word search book. Again, you don't have to stick to word searches. You can do loads of different things, especially when it comes to puzzle books. And that's the second way you can lean into ChatGPT to maximize your success with Amazon KDP, is to find really specific book content for your KDP books. So the third and final way you can use ChatGPT for your KDP books is to, again, find a little bit more content, but kind of make it a little bit more specific content. So I've just said here, can you find me 5 motivational quotes? In the previous video on this channel, I uploaded how to make a quote coloring book. So this is kind of what we're going to be doing, content for a quote coloring book. Rather than just kind of finding words for word searches like we did in the previous tip, there's actual content that you can turn into your own thing. So can you find me 5 motivational quotes? The idea is I'm going to put these quotes into a quote coloring book and have a motivational themed quote coloring book. You can see here what it's done initially. It's got me back some actual genuine quotes from real people. I don't necessarily know in terms of how much you can use actual quotes from people with their names. So I've just gone back and said, can you make these unique quotes? Essentially, can you make up quotes on your own, just so I know that I'm not kind of copying anyone else's work. And it's done that again to achieve greatness, be bold in your vision and relentless in your pursuit. This, in my opinion, is a little bit too long to include in a quote coloring book. So I've then just gone back to it and said, can you make these a lot shorter? And what it's done now is given me 5 different quotes that I can put into a motivational quote coloring book. Again, obviously, if we're actually making the book itself, we're going to have kind of 50 plus motivational quotes in there. But for the purpose of this video, I don't want to make a really, really long list. But you can see now it's got really short and concise quotes that I can put straight into a quote coloring book. And again, we don't have to worry too much about just copying and getting into trouble with using other people's work, because we're just using these quotes that we already know are unique to us. And also putting them into kind of our own form of content. We're not just copy and paste them and putting them into a file. We're actually making them into a motivational quote coloring book. So that's another really good way you can use ChatGPT, is to find content for kind of coloring book and quote coloring book ideas for your KDP books. So those are just 3 ways you can utilize ChatGPT to maximize your chances of success with Amazon KDP. Again, the kind of main takeaways here are that you have to remember that it's never going to replace the human brain, and also never going to be kind of everything you need it to be for you. It's never going to write all the books for you. You do still have to do a lot of work, but what you should kind of see it as, rather than being like a replacement of all of the work that you need to do, just see it as an extra helper, a free employee that's going to help you with ideas, with kind of book description formatting and things like that. It's there to help you rather than to do everything for you. So that's kind of the main takeaway. And secondly, also remember that you have to be very careful with how you use the content. There's obviously lots of things to do with fair use policy, so make sure you're always paraphrasing and make sure the work you actually produce is unique to yourself. They're kind of 2 main takeaways I would say from this. But if you did enjoy this video, then please do leave a like and also subscribe if you want to see some more KDP content. And like I say, with the courses, follow me on Twitter to keep updated with all the information coming out regarding those, and I will see you in the next video.